Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Safety First webinar hosted by Cutting Edge Curriculum. We're going to go around and do some brief introductions before we dive in today. So my name is Callie Shorefide, and I'm the marketing manager for Cutting Edge Curriculum. Mindy, if you want to introduce yourself.
I'm Mindy Nichols. I am the business manager and I handle customer service for the website.
I'm Jonathan Grimes. I'm one of the founders of Safety First, also an ag teacher in Virginia.
And I'm Lindy Coker with Cutting Edge Curriculum, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I am going to remind you that any questions during the webinar, you can use the Q&A function. Should be pretty easy to access, and the webinar is being recorded. Here, Callie has our homepage of Cutting Edge Curriculum on the screen. If you ever have any questions about what we do or some of the curriculum pieces that we provide to teachers, go ahead and check us out. We also have a grant that is open currently for universities, and then our scholarship will open back up in January. But today we are hosting a webinar on behalf of our partner, Safety First, and happy to have Jonathan with us today. So we're going to go on down to our partnership page and take us to Safety First. And at Safety First, provides us a little bit of a description of who they are. It is a website that focuses on safety lessons, as well as quizzes and additional procedures to be able to follow for common shop machinery and equipment. Teachers can purchase the lesson plans and all of the instructional materials through Safety First. We're happy to serve as a partner with them as we continue to provide quality instructional material for all CTE teachers. So we're going to go ahead and head over to their website. And at this point, a brief overview of their dashboard. You have a Google single sign-on capability. So once you have students logged in, as well as yourself, it will remind you of your information to log in. And as we log in, we get to the dashboard. We have an enrollment code that will be given to you that you will follow. And then you will start to see your courses that are listed. And then at the top right will be your grades. And at this point in time, I'm going to let Callie take over as we jump a little bit further into the behind the scenes of the Safety First materials.
Yes, thank you, Lindy. So as Lindy mentioned, this is kind of like your dashboard inside Safety First. So from here is where you kind of navigate all of your information. This enrollment code will be provided to you by Jonathan or Brian at Safety First, and then you can share that with your students to enroll them in your course. So you don't have to create additional logins for them, but once they enroll here, then they'll be able to log in with that Google single sign-on. Once you kind of dive into your dashboard, you can show your list of courses here. So we're going to use this sample class today as our example, and this will outline my whole entire course for me. So if I scroll throughout here, I can see all of the available lessons or units that I have available to me. So if I scroll all the way down, I have 42. They have added some newer lessons this year, so you can see those are highlighted by saying new for 2025 or 26. But you have everything in front of you at all times. But you can see anytime something is hidden from your students, it outlines that for you. So you can toggle down through these and you can preview all these materials before you share them with your students. So kind of briefly, we're going to click through some of these just to show you what they look like. You always start with your lesson plan. Everything is outlined in your lesson plan. So some of them are multiple pages long, some of them are just one or two. But here it tells you your objectives of the lesson plan, what your students should learn, and then what you should achieve next. So here's your outline for you. They're outlined very clearly into steps. They are also aligned to any standards that might be appropriate. And then at the end, you will always have some sort of lab activity, which is kind of like a performance test. So back to your dashboard, that's your lesson plan. but you also, for every lesson, you have a video worksheet, a slideshow, student notes, fillable worksheet, and then a safety test. And then students can also earn a safety certificate. Next is the video. I won't play this too loudly for you, but you can see here, it's just a simple video. Same look for your students. When they click on that, they'll be able to see it. But along with every video, Safety First has made worksheets. Not only are they available to print out and fill, but you can also just fill them out directly online. So if your student is pulling up the video on one tab, then they can open these in another and fill them in as they go. If you'd like to print them out, of course, that is available for you as well, but it's good to have both options, especially for sub-plans if that's necessary. Then the next thing is an answer key. Those are always available, whether it's for the video or any activities or a slideshow. But let's preview a slideshow for now. It does open up into a Google Slides, but you can access it here just in a smaller window so you can see what exactly they look like. Again, these are provided for every single lesson, and then the student notes to accompany that PowerPoint. So you can see very similar to the video worksheet, but again, great to print out if needed. You can also download the slideshow as a PDF if you want to print it off or provide it to your students that way. In addition to this lesson plan, the video, and the slideshow, you have your safety test. So here at the end, you can, again, we're in teacher view, so you can preview the quiz here and it will start. So you have over here on the right, you kind of have your navigation bar. You'll see there's 20 questions in here. You can select these and go to the next page if you want to work through the whole quiz. But then you can also here at the bottom, if you want to jump to a different lesson, you can do that here as well. So going back to my course outline, this is just an example for general shop safety. But for that safety test for every lesson is 3 parts. So you have your parts ID, then you have the actual operation test, and then you have a performance test. So after they've completed all of those successfully, then you can print off or show the safety certificate. I did want to point out just briefly at the very top here, there is a tutorial. So if this is your first time logging in or you need some reference throughout the year, you can use this tutorial video to kind of walk you through how to operate Safety First. Underneath here is the shop use agreement, but then here is your blank certificates folder. So here they are here. They're also available in your outline here below. So once you make these available to your students, I will show you briefly what a student view looks like. Here, once I log in as a student, I can see this is what my teacher made available to me. I can go in here, I can view the video, but I can also check things off as they are done. So once they're completed, I just click that check mark. I can go into my worksheet, fill out the guided notes, and check that off as well, and then complete my test here below. Once you do start your test, you do have to finish it, but you can also set those rules as a teacher to see if you want them to be able to view it after they submit it and things like that. And then again, your certificate is not available to you unless you have met the required score. Same thing for this lesson down below. You can choose if you want your students to view all of the lessons that they have completed, or you just want them to view specific lessons at a time. This is what a student view looks like here. But once they have started completing some materials, you might see their grades start to pop up. So I'm going to share a different screen here with you so you can kind of see what that looks like. But here, once your students have started to, again, take an assignment, start putting in a grade, things like that, this is what it looks like. So inside your grade book, we've obviously blocked out their personal information, but you can see you have a couple different filter options. So if you want to filter out by test, you want to filter by name, you want to filter by course, those things are all available to you. But here is where you can see their total score. Then if you click inside a quiz, a specific quiz, you can see what the student name is, if they finish it on this date, they completed it on this date, they started on this date, this is how long it took them, this is their grade, and then it breaks it down question by question. So this is just another page to kind of see what it looks like. If you're noticing that everybody's missing question 10, you could go in and maybe delete that question or reorder it, or even take that question out. Once you select a specific student and you want to see their submission specifically, you do have the ability to make a comment, or again, say everybody's missing question 5 or question 10, you can go in there and override it. So if you want to make it correct, you have the ability to do that as well. But it is nice to have all their information saved in here so you can see they did start it at this time, they saved it, but then they finished it at this time, especially if it's something that they stop and come back to. You want to make sure they're completing it on time. So I will go back to our page here. I am going to hand it over to Jonathan to see if he wants to share some other remarks about Safety First and any final words that he might say.
I do appreciate everybody's getting on or watching the video. So a couple of things with our program. We're going to maintain these records for you, maybe not indefinitely, for at least 10 years after they take the test, because we know most states require these safety records to be maintained at least 5 years after graduation. So if you get a subscription for us, we're going to keep those records. And if for some reason you decide to non-renew, we'll still have those records available. So the grade book will always be there. The certificates are great to print, to be able to have that paper record, paper copy for the kids to take. And we're not, we know that with the 42 lessons, we want to make it where the teacher can kind of pick and choose and use what they want to use. So we're not trying to tell people you have to go through all 42 lessons with every class. It's use what fits your class and make it work for you. Our pricing is kind of simple. It's $480 a year for a single teacher, and then additional teachers at your school can be added for $50. So we have a lot of programs that the ag teacher and construction teacher kind of partner together and split that cost between the two programs. And we are going to run a special for anybody that's watched this video or on the call. We'll do 50% off for this first year as a new subscriber. Now that we're into school, a lot of us have been in school for close to 2 months, and we know a lot of people has hit a lot of shop safety. If it's something that you want to give a shot, we're very confident that if you give us a shot that you'll renew next year. So we're willing to knock it off to $240 for the first year. Like I said, if you're on this video for the 25-26 school year.
All righty. Thank you, Jonathan. We appreciate you being here and helping present today. We will be at National FFA Convention the last week of October. So if anybody is attending, we will be there in booth number 310 in Teachers World. So do stop by and see us and take advantage of that special offer. I did want to highlight real quick on Safety First website, you can view more information about our partnership. We do recommend, if you do have any questions about Safety First or how to order or anything like that, you can always find that information on our website. You can also go to mycart.com and you can always use the questions tab that's in the top right corner. That's available anytime, anywhere. So you can fill out a question here and even just say, how do I order Safety First? And we will get back to you very quickly. So any other comments for the day? I don't see anything in the chat. But I think that's all we have for you. If you do think of anything, of course, you can contact us on MyCart or Cutting Edge Curriculum or even Safety First. So thank you so much, and we appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.